Rotational shifts allows you to automatically change your agents from one shift to another depending on the week. Oftentimes we have agents who will work 1 or 2 weeks on first shift and then rotate to second shift, or have a weekend shift that's every third week, something like that we need to accommodate for, and rotational shifts are how we handle that. So here let's go to schedule configuration and shifts. Here we can see we have some dynamic shifts, some fixed shifts, but let's go up here to rotational templates. Now let's add a new rotational template. And we can give it a name. And then we pick how many weeks between the rotation. So here, let's say I'm on a shift where I need to, I do 2 weeks on a regular shift and then 1 week where I work the weekend. So we're going to say we're going to rotate every 1 week, and then we will add a shift. So let's just add a new shift, call it week 1. For the sake of this, we'll just do a fixed shift, but this works really well with dynamic shifts as well. So we'll just say it's a phone activity, and we'll start at 8. Go 8 to 5. And this will be our weekdays here. Now, ordinarily we would put breaks in, but for the sake of this demonstration, we will just create a phone activity there. So now we can go back to our rotational shift, and we see we have week 1, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Now let's go ahead and add week 2. So I'm going to click the little arrow here and say duplicate existing shift. We can duplicate what we just made to make another copy of that for week 2. And then we'll go back to our rotational, see we have the same. And now let's add that third week where I'm going to be working on the weekend. Now we can do the same where we copy an existing, and we'll call this the weekend shift, and then we'll edit it to adjust. So let's say for this particular one, we remove all of these activities. And we're going to do the same where we go 8 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Sorry, 9 hours from 8 to 5. There we go. So this is my weekend shift. And then if I go back to my rotational template, the way this is going to work is I'll be assigned to week 1 for the first week, and week 2 for the second week. Again, I'm rotating every 1 week, and then the weekend shift for the third. So serving this rotational template, I need to make sure that I always have somebody on the weekend. So let's add some agents here. So on week 1, I'll add Rick. So I'm going to add Rick to week 1, and we see we have 1 agent there. And then on week 2, we'll go ahead and we'll add Ben. So Ben is on week 2. We see we have 1 agent there. And then on the weekend shift, we'll start with Andy. So we have 3 agents assigned. So Rick, Ben, and Andy to our shifts here. So now that we have our rotational template built, let's go ahead and generate a schedule so we can see how that works. So we'll go back to schedule configuration. We'll create a schedule, and then we'll start with next week, and we'll generate 3 weeks here with our rotational scheduling group. So go ahead and create that. That's going to create 3 weeks here. And we see the first week where Rick is on week 1, Ben is on week 2, Andy is on week 3. So we see through the week, Rick and Ben are scheduled, and then on the weekend, Andy is scheduled. Now let's go to next week. So now it has changed, and Rick has been moved to the next, and Ben and Andy are during the week. And I've jumped an extra week there. So, but you're able to see that the shift changes week by week. So here's the second week where Ben is on the weekend shift and Rick and Andy are on the first shift. Again, that first week where Andy's on the weekend shift. Second week, Rick is on the weekend shift. Ben is on the weekend shift. And then the third week when Rick is on the weekend shift. So that is how you set up and use rotational templates.